Yes, welcome. This is Andy from Metal Exposure. I'm here today with Frozen Crown, talking about the new album War Hearts, and thank you for joining us. This is, I believe, your fifth album in just 7 years. I mean, how have you managed to keep up the momentum and also keep the sound evolving and progressing throughout that very short period of time?
We first of all start as composers, not as musicians. What I mean
Okay.
is that, a lot of people start a band saying, okay, I want to be a guitar player, I want to be a singer so badly. We are mostly, more into the writing
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Live shows are just a consequence of that, for us at least. So when we write an album, we always write the whole thing. We never really write just one song and then that's it. Or maybe, for example, we struggle finding another song to add to the album. We always see one album like a movie with
Yes.
an
Yeah. Yeah.
intro, with a climatic part, with an ending. So everything is really, how can I say, already said and done from the very beginning.
Okay.
And
So
then
you
it's
you
just a matter.
you think
Sorry.
about it like an entire theme then. So you sort of plan a theme for a particular album and then you work your way through creating material for that theme.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Ah, excellent.
To the
Yeah.
yeah, to the point that when I was writing our first album, I was already thinking about the trilogy. So the first three
Ah,
albums, yeah,
okay. Yeah.
and some songs were already written years before then the second and the third album came out, for example. So
Okay.
that's also one of the reasons why we are so quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's good. I mean, so if we think about that and the theme of the albums, I mean, War Hearts has got a lot to do with, sort of self-improvement and personal growth elements. And how does that really reflect on your own journey as a band together over the last few years?
Well,
So I'm really happy that you got the message because it's very important for us. It's what we always want to share,
Yeah.
positive messages, motivational lyrics. So it's good that you noticed.
yeah, and I think that reflects. We are really a positive band, and all the members are really easygoing. They're really, never putting, drama. Never. None of them is
Mm.
really self-centered. We are really. When we go in the airports or stuff, everybody thinks we are a literal family. Everybody thinks about, also because we have got very little people in the band. Small, young, in all
Yeah.
sense, in all means, and also older people. So of
Yeah.
course we literally look like a family. We are always together, even if we are not forced to, and we are also, of course, having fun, hanging out outside the band. So that's really something that you can feel in the music. And I think
Yeah.
this fifth
Yeah.
album is probably the most positive of them all. Yeah,
Mm, mm.
that
No, it's
reason.
I mean, my review is going to come out about the same time as this interview, so I don't want to spoil it for you. I'll let you read that for yourself. But I certainly felt that the way you had composed this album and the way that it had been produced and mastered was really, really clever because you didn't lose anything in the final mix. Everything was very clear. There was a clear story, with the singing, with the instruments. Everything was it was telling a story in every single song. And from my perspective, that's very difficult to do in this power metal genre because it can just blend into noise. It can end up, certain things are lost in the mix. But this was really, really special and very different. And I'm wondering if you had a lot of influence on that, or did you work with a specific producer or mixers and masters, or how did you come to this sound that you've ended up with now for this album?
Well, the producer is always the same.
Yes, it's
Okay.
Andrea
Yeah.
Fusini from Torino, and we recorded all the albums with him. And that's a very important point because, through the years and through the album, you know each other very well. You work
Mm,
together
yeah.
very well, and you share the ideas and you understand each other immediately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Then, of course, we became maybe faster in, recording our own
Hmm.
parts,
Hmm.
knowing what we want. And he is working, I mean, more smoothly, probably. I think, you know, the best you can give your producer in terms of, you know, writing clean guitar recordings, very clear idea when you are going to record your vocals. If you rehearse those songs, the best he can do with the mix and master, of course, you know, because of course he can actually show everything, have it everything sound, you know, crystal clear, and that's it. Of course, we also had a little more, how can I say, we could go a little with a little more calm on this album, also because we basically knew about this album and about this having to be released on Napalm since a lot of time. So we probably took our time. Everybody was probably more chilled. You know, for example, we recorded our third album in quarantine. It was even hard for us to meet and to go record stuff. So this time we were really more chilled, and that definitely contributed to that, probably. Yes. But I mean, aside from that, Andrea Fusini is just the best producer in the world for us. He also worked on the latest Delane album, for example. So it's not new to Napalm Records as well. Yeah.
No, I'd have to agree with you there. I mean, there's some real talent in that, and it makes sense as well that you grow together as a band and you become one team because you get to learn and develop and evolve that sound. Speaking of evolving the sound, I mean, the band has also evolved and expanded. You've added D'Alessia to the lineup. How has that influenced the sound on the new album?
Oh, it's a very important element because we really wanted to take on the stage the wall of guitars that we have in the recordings of the album. So we really don't want to use backing tracks, sequences and stuff, because nowadays they are everywhere too much. We wanted to be true. So Alessia was the perfect element. We knew her before. Since a lot of times, because she lives close to us, we had the chance to see her playing in different situations, and we thought that she was the perfect element to fill the role, both from the rhythmics and from the solos.
Yeah. We basically saw her growing up because, you know, I mean, she has always been a Frozen Crown fan, so she was just, you know, writing to us on social networks. But the funny thing is that she lives literally 5 minutes from here. So we also had the chance to see her playing live and stuff. She's always been very active also with, you know, local bands and stuff. Yeah. So really a great, you know, focused person for her age. And I would say she was really perfect in joining the band, not only for her guitar skill, but also for how positive she is. You know, she is. Yeah, speaking of positivity, you know, she's really adding a lot of, you know, good vibes to the band. And that's, of course, impact also on the songwriting. Absolutely, yeah. Because, yeah, of course, she contributed on solos mostly. I mean, on solos, because she wrote and recorded all her guitar solos. But anyway, she influenced the whole album, and that's something that all members did. As I said, we are really having a good time together, and I think that was reflected by the album. That's it. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And so if we think about the storytelling element of the songs and the inspiration for that, I mean, some of it's from Highlander and you know, Vampire Masquerade and so on. What made you get drawn to those particular themes for this album?
You mean so wait, because we have got the epic themes made of swords, fights, I mean, warriors, kings, and all that kind of stuff that are, of course, always hiding the real message, which is actually doing the best of your time, don't let yourself down, and all those usual, you know, motivational stuff. How can we call that? But that's because we are like that. We're positive, and the Highlander reference is not randomic because we have got quite an obsession with the concept of time.
Yeah, yeah.
Time, of course, Queen made much better than us writing "Who Wants to Live Forever," and
Well, that's
I mean,
questionable, but
yeah, no. Well, I mean, an entire album about that concept. But I mean,
yeah.
we've always been obsessed with the concept of time. I mean, we have a lot of songs called, for example, "In a Moment" or "Forever" or
Mhm.
"Lost in Time." Because we are so obsessed with both the carpe diem, of course, the concept
Yes.
of doing the best you can with your time, but also with all of us have experienced the losing a beloved person. So
Yeah.
you're always there questioning, asking yourself, could I have spent my time better with that person?
Mm.
What could happen if I could spend one day more with her in the past? Now that she's no more, that's that's of course the whole Highlander team, because he's surviving
Yeah.
to all the people he loves, basically, and that's of course a way to grab both our time concept and our swords and the battles concept. Yeah. Do you want to add something? No, I don't know.
Yes, yes, because for instance, my background in literature comes from Tolkien. My favorite
Mm.
book is Silmarillion, and I always also enjoy more recent stuff like Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, both books and series. And speaking by metaphors of battles for the everyday difficulties is something that it's very into me, into my
Mm.
mind, into my way of picturing things and messages I want to share.
No, that's fantastic. And I mean, speaking of big themes and big activities and so on, you're about to go on tour with Camelot.
Yes.
So that's going to be a really big opportunity for you and introduce you maybe to a much wider audience than maybe would have discovered you otherwise. How do you prepare for such a high-profile tour, and how do you keep the energy high when you're performing all of these new tracks live?
So the energy for me, it's easy to keep high because I'm very excited to go with one of the bands that influenced me the most in my teenage
Okay. Yeah.
years, which is Camelot. So, the excitement is uncontainable and it will be during the whole tour. And, we are very happy with our album. We find ourselves in a very positive moment because, as we were saying, we are a new contract with Napalm. We have a new member that kept a lot
Mm.
of good things in the band. So going on this huge tour in this situation for us, it's a very, very big thing, and I think that
Yeah.
every one of us is very excited and
Yeah, absolutely.
yes, and about the preparation, we are always keeping ourselves prepared for gigs and stuff because
Hmm.
we love to exercise. We are very electronic nerds from our gear, and yes, I think we are already ready somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's say, we have been quite some, lately we have been with Udo for the first time in
Yeah.
Scandinavia, touring with the UDO, the band
Yeah.
by, yeah, Udo Dirk Schneider inside. And we've been touring, and, nowadays, in the era of amp simulator, where you have no more amps anymore,
Mm.
you're using in-ear monitors, you are using just a little pedal board for all sound. Everything is very light and portable, so basically you don't really prepare for a tour. It's everything maybe easier than in the past, so the real
Mm.
preparation is mostly focused on, for example, the nightliner, ordering the merchandise, preparing all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
concerns, for example, rehearsals, we just had a couple of shows. I
Yes,
don't
yes.
remember.
We have been at Prog Power in Atlanta.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, we have been in Spain, in Romania, in
Yeah,
Sardinia.
we played three headlining shows in these countries. So we that's just like, rehearsing more or less.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But what
there's
better
not
way to
really,
practice than being a headliner on a tour?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
exactly. So there's really literally not really a preparation in the sense that we go to in the studio and stay there 1 month
Right,
rehearsing the
right.
songs, because those are mostly the songs we have been playing for 3 years now.
Yeah,
And
okay.
so yeah, it's mostly on the logistical organization. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
mostly.
No, that makes
Absolutely.
perfect sense. I mean, when you've done the tours, you've done some festivals as well, I think recently, across Europe. Do you find that when you're headlining versus when you're touring with a larger band, what do you prefer?
So, when we tell
What
me
do you
your opinion, there
uh,
are positive
No,
sides
I
on
mean,
both
positive
situations.
sides on both
Yeah,
situations,
of
because of
course.
course,
Yeah.
when you are touring with another band, you have got less pressure, and most importantly, you don't have that kind of, responsibility.
Mm.
Also, the how can I say, the economic responsibility, for
Yeah,
example,
true. Yeah.
investing in a tour, it's totally different if you go opening for someone, you're not risking anything. I know there are bands that are paying to play, but that's not our case,
Mm.
so you're not literally risking anything. And it's more, it's easier. And also, you play those few minutes, maybe 45 minutes, 40
Mm.
minutes, 30 minutes, and then you just go away and everything is done for the rest of the night. Of course, that has got less responsibilities, but of course, when we play headlining shows, we happen to, have a more relaxed time together,
Mm.
because yes, we play a lot more songs, so that may seem more stressful, but actually you don't have the kind of pressure, you have to do everything together. You're going, to chill, and also to have more communication with the people in the crowd.
Of course. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's
what I
something.
was thinking about. When you
Yeah,
are doing your headlining show, there is more connection with people.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you are going on a big tour or on a big festival, it's also difficult sometimes, to get to the fans,
Yeah.
which is a very important part of our activity. We really love to spend time with our fans, to have a chat, and sometimes in bigger context, it's not that easy.
Mm. No, that's right. But I imagine though, when you're doing these festivals, you get a lot of new fans because I mean, you've built up quite a dedicated fan base anyway, and you've got a lot of streams online and so on. So, but someone who hadn't heard of you before but discovers you because you're part of a festival lineup, or that they're going to see Camelot and then they get the pleasure of seeing you as well. I imagine you are growing your fan base all the time. Do you see that? Do you get that in the communications, in your interactions with your
Yes.
fans? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Sometimes a fan that saw us in a festival year before comes and said, this is the second time because I saw that I fell in love
Hey,
with
yeah.
you last year. So it happens frequently.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's really funny, but there is also an indicator of that, because when we go on tour, of course, we sell merchandise after each show and
Yeah.
during each show, but also we have got a spike on online sales as well, and that literally shows how much,
Of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. That's literally shows how much touring also impacts nowadays more than in the past, the social media, because of
Yeah,
course
definitely.
you're sharing videos from the live show. People are sharing you playing around. I mean, everything counts, in that. And
Mm.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
it's difficult as well, though, isn't it? As you grow, to stay connected with your fans and to keep that communication going and keep that closeness and familiarity. How do you manage that in the best way? Is it through your social media? Is it through your interaction at the live performances? How do you try and manage that interaction with your fans?
So, of course, during the live shows, as I said, we really love to spend time at the merch booth to have a
Yeah,
chat with
yeah,
everyone. But we really also love to create contents on the social media. We are very active because we really love to share things of us, of our reality, of the things we are doing, or also on topics. We developed some topics like how do we create a song, how do we manage the band. We really love, and I think that it's useful. Yes, we keep in touch with the people, and the people always keeps its interest high because we are always sharing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows. I mean, that's pretty clear. We are a band that came out through YouTube. I mean, YouTube was literally the biggest media for us. We are now close to 80 million views or something.
Yeah.
Way more, than, for example, Spotify and stuff like that. So, of course, we always worked very well on social networks. I mean, our image always worked very well on social networks. And so we just took advantage of that. I mean, if we were born years later and there were no social media networks, probably we would have do something else. But this is the social network era, and of course we try to use them the best way we can. Because that's and that's also the only way for an Italian band like us. As I, of course, underline Italian because in Italy, metal is literally non-existent, and the young band have no support at all. So, I mean, it's the only way for an Italian band like us to actually have someone to the other part of the world to listen to our music and maybe eventually to call us and say, oh, yeah, hey, we are Dragon Force. Do you want to come on a tour with us? Which is literally how that happened, because we didn't have literally any live experience except for a couple of tours, small tours, and Dragon Force just got in touch with us through our videos. And that's something amazing nowadays.
Yeah, fantastic. Any parting messages for the viewers of this interview that you'd like to share?
Oh, so thank you for having us here. We are very happy, and thanks a lot. We really hope to see you on the road soon. Remember, our tour starts on October 12th.
And we really hope you like our new album. And I mean, we would like, and I don't know, if you're watching this video, write in a comment which is your favorite track, so you can give a lot more engagement and we like stuff like that. And I also want to say this was a really pleasant interview.
Yes,
really amazing. Thanks a lot, and it was really awesome. And of course, we are sharing with anyone on our social media. Yes.
Yeah, it has been a real pleasure to talk to you, and I look forward to seeing you at your show with Kamelot in London.
Awesome.
Looking forward to see you there.
Take care. See you there soon.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.